Hi, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I am not in the Joe Blog studio. I'm actually down at the beach. I've got the waves lapping at my toes right here. And whilst I'm here, I just thought I'd make another video talking about the fact that we've only got a limited amount of time on this planet. So you need to take time to enjoy yourself a little bit, to get down to the beach, to hear the sound of the sea lapping up against the shore, or whatever it is that makes you happy. Because I think far too many of us get caught up in the daily drudgery of routine. You know, you get up, it's a Monday, it's a Tuesday, it's a Wednesday. This is what you do on those days. Maybe you've got a set routine every single day, every single week, every single month, whatever it might be. And that's great. And routine, I think, is good. It does keep you focused, gives you a purpose, gives you something to, really focus in on each day. But you need to change up that routine on a regular basis. You need to do something different that maybe seems like a lot of hassle at the time. You think, oh, is it really worth going down to the beach? Can I be bothered? It's a bit sandy and, it gets a bit dirty and there's lots of people there and it's noisy and I can't be bothered. But actually, when you get down here, all of those negative thoughts just drift away, and then you can just look out onto the horizon, which goes on forever. It's just an endless sort of line across the sea. Makes you realise, there's a big wide world out there. There's other countries. In fact, I'm in Greece at the moment, and behind me, you may or may not be able to see it, is Mount Olympus. You can see it in the distance over here. And Mount Olympus was obviously where all of the Greek mythology and tales and the gods and all of that were set. So that was a very long time ago that somebody was writing all of those stories and all of that legend. But it makes you think about, how old the Earth is, how big the Earth is, how many people there are on it. We've talked about it before. There's 8 billion people on the planet. That's mind-bending, isn't it? What percentage of those have you spoken to? Very, very small percentage. So getting down to the beach, getting out, doing something different, I think is really good for the soul. It's also good for the mind and the body. So, I'm taking a walk along the seashore here, so a bit of exercise, a bit of fresh air. But more importantly, it's a stimulus for me to think about doing things differently, to think about change and, what else I could be doing, what other ideas I've got, what I want to do in the future, rather than just making Joe Blogs videos every single day, churning them out, getting some views, getting a little bit of money off YouTube, getting some comments, some of them positive, some of them not so positive, all of that sort of thing. It makes me think about the medium to longer term. Where am I going? What am I doing? Where would I like to be in 3 years' time or 5 years' time? What would I like to be doing? And I think it's only coming away from your everyday routine, everyday ordinary, that makes you think like that, makes you think outside the box and start thinking about the bigger picture and what else you can achieve. Because I've said it before, but if you're let's say you're 60 at the moment, then your average life expectancy is probably going to be around about 80, 85, depending on what country you're in. You may do better than that. You may hit 90, 95. But if you hit 80, 85, then you've got around about 2,000 weekends left. Now, that might sound like quite a lot, 2,000, but then when you boil it down, you think, actually, 2,000 is not that many, is it? I can count to 2,000. And so you need to start thinking about what you're going to do in those weekends. Don't just do what you've done for the last 2,000 weekends and the same thing every single week and every single month. Do something a bit different. Shake things up a little bit. I've said it before, but maybe change that routine. Maybe have something different for lunch or for dinner. Buy something from the supermarket you don't buy ever before. Look up a new recipe. It's really easy to do these days online. You don't have to have a cookbook. Just go online and say, what can I cook with some sort of fish, or maybe do a vegetarian meal for yourself, or cook, something really unusual, or make something. Do something different. Go somewhere different. Go to a new cafe or restaurant or bar, or go for a walk. Go take a drive somewhere you haven't been before. Drive to the coast if you can do that. Or if you're not mobile enough to do that, I know a lot of people aren't as mobile and don't have a lot of money, then just change things up a little bit. Just do something different. Have a look in your cupboard, see what's in there, and then see what you could do with all of those things. Because we open our cupboards, we open our fridges and freezers, and they're jam-packed full of stuff. and you never touch 80% of it. It just sits there doing nothing, and then one day you'll end up throwing it in the bin. So pull some of those things out, type it into Google, I've got these ingredients, what could I make from it? Something like that. But the point really isn't to get you cooking, it's just to get you doing something different, change things up, make a phone call to somebody that you haven't spoken to for a very long time. The point really is, life is short, we're not here forever, you need to make sure you're enjoying it. So if you're not enjoying it as much as you could be, then do something about it. Take control of your life and change it up. That might not work, you might think, actually I didn't really like that. I tried that Joe Bloggs idea, I've made a whole lot of stuff from things in the cupboard and it was disgusting, I didn't enjoy it. But at least you've cleared the cupboard out of all of those items that have been sitting there for years. But anyway, the point is, do something different, change it up. Please take control of your life, because we're not here forever. I'm making these videos partly because I want to. You know, it was a challenge I set myself 6 years ago to set up a YouTube channel to see if I could get anybody to watch the videos. Nobody knew who I was. You know, I don't have high profile, I'm not famous. And, you know, some people have watched the videos. I've had, I think it's approaching something like 180 million views so far. So that's not too bad. And I think I've done okay with that first part of this challenge. And the next part is really seeing if I can do something a bit more interesting and exciting with it all. So that's one of the reasons why I'm making this variety of videos. So hopefully you can take a bit of inspiration from that, from me. I didn't have any YouTube training, don't have any background. I started doing this just with an iPhone, didn't even have a microphone in those days, first days. So anyone can do anything, you just need to have a go at it. You know, the first step, you know, you've got to take the first step in any journey, haven't you? I can't remember the Confucius saying it's like a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step or something like that. But it is true, you know, you do need to make that first step. So hopefully you've enjoyed seeing me down here at the beach. I'll show you Mount Olympus over there again, just behind me if you can see it. So I've enjoyed this walk, this stroll, this chat. Hopefully it's encouraged you, inspired you to do something different today. Don't leave it till tomorrow because you'll forget. Everybody forgets something. You watch it and you think, that's a good idea, and then 10 minutes later you can't remember what the video was about. Do it now, do something different, you'll enjoy it. It will help to make your life a bit more interesting, and then when people say to you, you know, what have you been doing today or this week, you say, hey, do you know what? I did something really interesting, I did this, and it will just change your perspective on the world. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up. Please hype it if you can, you know, because that will help with the algorithm, help boost this video. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. I'll see you again on the next video.